Hey everyone. Ooh. It's really good to be on here. This is the first Friday night that I have been home by myself in a while. And it feels really, really good. Um so yeah, it's really, really good to be on here. I haven't done a long live stream other than the webinar a couple weeks ago in a long time. So this is cool. I tried to make YouTube live work. I'm just going to take these off because of the glare. I tried to make YouTube live work, and it was asking for all of these crazy, like, you need to input URLs and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I said I was going on in 2 minutes, and I didn't realize I needed all this stuff because I had everything set up. So, or I thought I did. Technology. It works with me. I just need to take the time to learn it. So, yeah. So, hi. I am it looks like my Instagram is failing a little bit too. Let's see what's going on here. Just while nobody's on, you guys can see me doing my technical difficulties here. Oh, hi. Thanks for joining. All right, let's see if this works now. Yes, I am on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. Sorry I couldn't make it YouTube, but I tried. I tried my hardest. So here I am. And it's funny how technology, I just want to talk about this real quick. It's funny how technology can so much interrupt our flow. About 8:15 or 8 o'clock, whenever it was that I posted to Instagram and Facebook my card pull for the week, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. Ever since I posted that, I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to talk about it. Like, yeah, I can write about it, but I really want to talk about what this means. Like, what is this week that we've been through? What is the energy that we've been experiencing? Because it's been kind of this really icky, mucky, like bogged down energy. And when I pulled the Eight of Cups, it was like, that makes so much sense. So I'll explain that in a bit. But what I do want to talk about is it's just really interesting. I went and I posted that, and I was all excited about it. I'm like, I'm going to go on live. I'm going to talk about it. And I've been meaning to, get up the guts to kind of try to figure out the technology surrounding going on multiple live platforms at the same time. And so I was like, you know what? I have time. I'm by myself. And it's a Friday night, and I might as well try it out. And so I went to do it, and I was all excited, and I found this thing, thanks to Rivka Kawano, who is a beautiful, wonderful person, and she's an awesome tech expert, and you should check her out if you don't know her. But anyways, actually, she got married not too long ago. She changed her name. I'm sorry, Rivka. I can't remember what your new last name is, which is terrible of me. Forgive me. Anyways, so where was I? So she had sent me a link to this platform where you can stream on multiple places at the same time. So you can do Facebook Live, you can do YouTube, you can do Vine, you can do like all these different things. And I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. I want to do that because then I don't have to record 6 different times live. Or worse, record and then try and upload in 6 different places. So I was really excited to try it, and I thought everything had worked out. And then all of a sudden I went and I pressed live broadcast at like 2 minutes to the time I said I was going to be on here. And it was like, broadcast failed. And I was like, what is going on? So then I tried to figure it out, and I tried to, you have to go back and you have to do all the technology thing. And it was like, I was such in this excited, inspired place. Hi, thanks for popping on. I was such in this excited, inspired place, and I still am, but I feel like my energy was like super like calm and aligned and like grounded in exactly where it was I was going to do and what I was going to share. And then all of that started happening, and I started getting like that anxiety over, am I going to be able to share it at all? I want to stick to my time that I set, to be on time for everybody. And, you know, because that's important to me, keeping my word and being on time. And it was just, it just got me into this kind of frustrated state. And I was like, oh, well, all right. So, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I think that once I start talking about this card and what this really means, especially in this month, I feel like just moving forward, you know, February is the second month of the year. It's very much a month of duality, right? Because 2 in numerology is duality. So you're getting one, you know, you're getting to see 2 different sides. And the important lesson within the number 2 is learning how to compromise, learning the in-between, learning how to be able to, you know, yes, there's dark and there's light, but there's also like, you know, dawn and dusk, like day, night, dawn, dusk. There's also, you know, black and there's white, but there's also brown or gray or, you know, whatever. So, so duality is learning how to discern between the 2 different, parts of whatever you're looking at, the 2 different sides, but also learning how to merge with that and see, okay, what's in the middle? What's the melting pot of those 2 things? What's in that Venn diagram, right? What's in that little middle circle? So I just think that's really interesting in general. And then when you, hi Daniela, thanks for popping on. When you pair that with the idea that we just entered into an 11 year, right? 2018, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 equals 11. It just triggers the idea of old dualities, old concepts coming in, that we're having to reface and refocus. Hey, Alex. And hi, Desmond, and I'm well. Awesome. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, so it really forces us into that place of, and not forces, we have our own free will, but you know, it's the universal energy of, we are popping through this doorway right now to look at our past ideations of what does black and white mean and how do I find gray. We're being made energetically to kind of bring up also just like where we were in the past. What mentality were we in when we were dealing with a certain situation that now that we're at a different point in life, how are we looking at that differently? How are the lenses that we've been gifted in the last several months or several years or several decades, you know, how are those lenses helping us to see differently what we couldn't see before because we didn't have all of the experiences or emotions or whatever that had come up within that time. So I thought that was supremely interesting. Yeah. So then I want to delve into this card, right? Because well, actually, hold up. Let's talk about this last moon, okay? Because we're still all feeling the energy of that. Eclipses are really powerful. It is a really powerful energy, and this last one is sticky. There's just a lot of stickiness surrounding it. And almost every single client who has come into my office, every single friend, every single, you know, cohabitator in my office space, slash friend, every family member, like probably 90% of people I've talked to in the last 2 weeks, including myself, have been dealing with something to do with past karmic relations, coming back up, smacking them in the face, and they're like, where did this come from out of nowhere? I said goodbye to this a while ago. And that's where this Eight of Cups comes in. That's what I pulled for today. This Eight of Cups. I'm trying to get the glare off of it for you. Oh, and because I couldn't live stream to YouTube, I'm going to be reposting this. So that's where this Eight of Cups card comes in. I smiled so big when I pulled this today as our card of the week, which is why I just like had to come on here. The Eight of Cups. So when you think of the Suit of Cups, right, you think of water because liquid, that's what cups hold, is water. Or whatever else, I don't know, booze or whatever you drink. So, but the point is it's liquid, so it's associated with the element of water. So when you think of water, you think of emotions, you think of delving deep, you think of really diving into yourself or diving into someone else or diving into a situation, just that act of full immersion, or you think of just kind of sticking your toe in, testing the water out, drinking from the goblet to see if it's a little poisoned or not, you know, whatever. The point is that it's water, and it's emotions, and it's about testing ourselves and our limits and our ideations in that way. So when you think about having 8 cups, that's quite a bit of cups. It's quite a bit of liquid. It's quite a bit of water elements. So you're surrounded by lots of emotion. Are you surrounded by too much emotion? And what emotion, you know, emotion's great. You should feel emotion, but are you diving too deep into it? Are you overwhelming yourself with it? Are you picking too many cups of emotion to jump into at one time? You know, yes, can you experience? Absolutely, you can experience more than one emotion at one given time. And I think that as humans, that's part of what compounds our existence, right? Is this idea that we're complex beings that experience multiple things at one time, and therein lies the duality again, right? You can be happy and sad at the same time. There's that in between. So full circle. So yeah. So are you experiencing too many emotions at the same time? Are you overwhelmed? Are you anxious? Both, right? Is that overwhelming making you anxious? My computer is making noises, and so I'm gonna sit it up here for a second. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I like that better anyways. So yeah, so there's all of that. And then also, what else are you surrounding yourself with? Do you have too much on your plate? Are you taking too much on? I know I am. I'll admit that, right? I feel like February came along, and all of a sudden everybody was just jumping onto every single opportunity. Danielle was like, yes! Yeah. Everyone's just been saying yes to everything because everything just sounds so amazing and so exciting right now. I mean, I know I personally am super, super excited for this month and what it's brought already and what it has yet to bring. And I feel very much, as I've also seen with other people, I feel very much that human connection is really important right now. So our social calendars have been booking up, and it's like all of a sudden you're looking at your calendar, you're like, oh my gosh, how do I have like 3 different lunches booked this week and like 2 coffee dates and like all this stuff, and like, and I still work full time and I still do, you know, like how did that happen? And it's because we have this excitement to make connection, to collaborate. I think collaboration is huge right now. And it's not necessarily collaboration through creation or to create. It's more collaboration just to get the ideas brewing. Like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Or what are you know, I'd love to hear kind of how you think about X, Y, Z, and just kind of getting our thoughts stirring in that way, getting our perception shifted a little bit in that way where we're able to create more. So that's really where that's coming from. But do you have too many cups on your table? Have you filled your calendar up too much? Is it time to maybe look at your calendar for this week and reevaluate and say, hi, Christine. No, I'm kidding. But hi, Christine. And say, you know, I'm really sorry. You know, it's 2 days out from when we've scheduled our lunch, but I'm really feeling like I've overscheduled myself, and is it okay if we reschedule? If it's not, and that's totally going to mess you up, then I completely respect that. I made a commitment to you, but I'm feeling like for me, it would be better, and I'll be able to bring more of myself to you if we reschedule for another time. So just asking yourself that stuff. But what I want to talk about most with this special card is the wonderful past that it brings up. Because this card is really about releasing and letting go what no longer serves us. This card is about, we have filled all of our cups with this thing from our past, and it's time to empty them out. It's time to make space for new, fresh, not so stale water to be occupying them. And that's really kind of what that moon did to us, right? It brought up, like I said, it brought up all of this stuff in the past that we're like, where is this coming from? That happened for a huge reason. It happened so that, actually, a few huge reasons. One, so that you can realize what emotions you're still holding on to from that. Two, so that you can recognize if there are any karmic cords that are still tied there. If you don't know what energy cording is, essentially it's the idea that when you interact with somebody, hi Izzy, thanks for joining. Sometimes when you interact with somebody, and it could even be so much as like a connection with somebody you're walking past on the street, you connect eyes, boom, there's a cord. But you know, that's easily broken. Unless you have karmic past lives, and that's a whole other story, which we can get into another lifetime. But no, when you have really serious connection with somebody, you guys form energetic cords. And basically that is a line that goes from you to this other person and back. So it's a direct energy flow. It's smooth. You know, anyone can tap into it at any time. Oh, things are popping up on my computer. Go away. Yeah. So it's this energy flow back and forth. And if you have kind of this stale relationship with somebody, or a relationship that is not healthy, or that's toxic, or that's toxic and long gone, but it's that cord is still there, it's time to look into cutting that cord. And the safest way to do that is by cutting it, plugging it in somewhere, and then filling that space back up. And I'll be doing a video about that probably in March, I'm thinking, because that's a really resonant month personally for me with that. Let's see, Alex says, I wonder if getting sick, I'm just now recovering, is our body's way to slow down. Yeah, absolutely. Flu's been going around rampantly right now, and I think that's so true. I think that's the way that the energy is just kind of, hey Julia, the energy is just kind of, you know, making its way in so that it can kind of hold us back a little bit and force us to make those cancellations. You know, so yeah, absolutely, that's a definite possibility. So that came up. So that we can recognize what emotions are there, so that we can recognize if there are any cords that are still tied. And then also what I was talking about at the very beginning of this, of that idea of, okay, this happened in the past. I'm now at a new place in my life. I've now had all of these other experiences that have more deeply and profoundly informed me as to how I wrongly handled the situation, or how I could better myself from that situation, or, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And I assure you that the person on the other side, if it's been a lot of time, they've at least had some time to think about that on their behalf as well. Both how you could have done better and how they could have done better, because it is a two-way street, right? It's that middle again. It's not the duality. You didn't do everything terribly. They didn't do everything terribly. It takes Takes two to tango, baby. So yeah, so I really wanted to talk about that because that's been coming up a lot. And just this idea of, you know, letting go, this Eight of Cups, letting go of that stale water, but letting it go in love, and letting it go saying, okay, I'm thankful for this situation, even though it was super difficult, even though I'm still really, really hurt by it, or I really miss this person in my life if you guys are cut off, or anything like that. You know, even though those are the circumstances, it's okay for me to say goodbye, and it's okay for me to open these cups up for something new to fill them. And just sending your love their way. Izzy says, I've been having a hard time letting go of my ex. Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely, absolutely true. Under these circumstances right now, I'm sorry to hear that you've been dealing with that. That's really intense, and I'm sure you're feeling a lot of pain and frustration surrounding that. So actually something that I did, and some of you may have seen my post. Oh, what does Pete Wood say? My card of the day was the exact same. Yes. Oh, that's so cool. I love it when that happens. It's like universe is really trying to jam that message into us. So something I did at the last full moon, and some of you may have seen my post on this. I haven't been like advertising it fully because there's still a part of me that feels really weird about doing that. I'm like, I'm gonna advertise my magic products. You know, it's like, you guys can do this at home, but with your own energy. But if you want to experience what I made, my main ceremony for the last full moon was actually making this little guy right here. It's called Karmic Justice, and it's this little potion that I made. I've been calling these essences, as you guys have probably seen on my website. I'm trying to transition that over because actually everybody who's bought them from me thus far has been like, so can I have one of your potions? And I'm like, is that what I should be calling these? So I think I'm gonna start calling them that. But this little sucker packs a punch right here, and it's super. I took some right before I did this video. Yeah, I spent 45 minutes energizing this bowl of water underneath the light of the full moon just before the eclipse. I mean, I'm talking like 3 o'clock in the morning, like just before the eclipse, like 3 hours before the eclipse. And at least in Michigan. And the light of the moon was shining into the bowl. I had 3 cards underneath the bowl so that those energies could be seeped into the water as well. So I had a card from the moon deck, which is an oracle deck. It's really, really beautiful, and each card has a painting and an affirmation on it. And this one had the lion, which represented Leo, which is where the moon was. And it's also strength. On the card, there's an affirmation that says, oh goodness, I don't have it memorized. With strength, with strength I can move through, I don't know, something about being strong and having that strength to be able to move through in any given situation. So that energy was in there, as were 2 more cards from this same deck from the Dreamers Tarot, which was so beautifully gifted to me by Mary Beth Holtz, who's just a beautiful human being. And the other 2 cards that were under that bowl are from that deck. It's the Justice card from the Major Arcana, and the Empress card from the Major Arcana. And I did that very purposefully because because of a few reasons. Justice is the 11th card in the tarot deck, and we're in that 11th year, and that year of justice. So bringing the theme of that year in the first month of the year in what felt like the first, the first moon of the year was technically on the 1st, but I feel like because we had 2 moons in the same month, because it was a blue moon, it kind of felt like one giant moon, right? Like it kind of felt like this is one big month of full moon, which was just a little crazy. What does Ash say? I love the moon essences you have me. It was the abundance and boundaries, and it's amazing. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, Ash was super lucky, and they won an essence for being the 400th person to like my Facebook page. So if you haven't liked my Facebook page and your friends haven't liked my Facebook page, you should like it, because I'm almost at 500 likes now. And when I get to 500 likes, I will be sending out another free bottle of your choice. There are 4 different essences at this point, or potions, however you decide to call it. So yeah, so that was fun. I really enjoyed packaging that up and sending it to you. I'm really happy you like it. So anyway, so back to these cards. So Justice, so the 11 year. So, but also we have a tarot card of the year, and it's based on the numerology of the year. So Justice is our card of the year. And if we haven't seen that already in the media, I feel like I've mentioned this in so many videos and posts. It's like the media is just screaming justice right now. It's like getting everything in order. And even though everything's chaotic, chaos needs to happen in order to uproot everything so that we can have justice. Justice cannot happen if we can't see both sides of the situation, if we can't see the turmoil that we're in, if we can't be completely uprooted and not given reason to create justice, right? So yeah, so that's our card of the year. The reason I chose Empress is a few fold as well. One is that 11, January being the first month of the year, and 11 being our year, you add those up together and it comes out to 3. Empress is the 3rd card in the deck. So there was that. The other reason being that I just felt like this, oh my gosh, this thing is such a sucker punch. It's like crazy. So I wanted to add an element of just like deep healing and nourishment and mothering and just like being held, because we need that right now, and we need that to find our strength. The way you find your strength at its strongest is through vulnerability. And I know personally, in the situation that's coming back up for me, I'm going to see somebody in a few weeks who I haven't seen in years, that we had a really, really bad falling out, if you will. I was quite a bit younger and very ego-driven, and I didn't know myself. I was vamping his energy like crazy. It was just like not a good situation. But I'm going to see him for the first time in a really long time. And so I know for me in this situation, that Empress and having the connection with my sensitivity, the connection with my empathy, the connection with that vulnerability and that sincerity is really, when we say hi, that's really important for that to come through, because before that was not there and it wasn't balanced. It didn't exist. I was too weak to be vulnerable at that point in time. I never told my true feelings. I never showed my true self. And I attribute a lot of our falling out to that. Through vulnerability, you will find strength. Your strength lies within your vulnerability. So that's why I included the Empress as well. So Empress and Justice, so it's that nourishment, that self-compassion, that holding, so that you can be strong to go get your justice. And then, of course, the Lion is in the middle, balancing things out with the strength. Hey, Trisha. Hey, Lee. Thanks for joining. So so there's that. And then I also put a green fluorite in there. And green fluorite is amazing for third eye sight, opening up higher connection to higher self, really upping your energy. So for people who have been getting sick lately, that's a good one too. And just really tapping in to heightened energetic situations as well, and being able to really bring your magic to something. So that's what fluorite is awesome for. And I actually put that on so I had the 3 cards, and then I had the bowl of water over the top. And then I placed the fluorite, before I poured the water in, I placed the fluorite right over the third eye of the lion, which I thought was just, you should have felt like the tingles in the air when I did that. I was just like, oh my gosh, this feels so awesome and strong and powerful, and just like, so I did that. And then also, I really wanted to use essence of frankincense in there as well. I don't really have access to fresh frankincense, so I actually ended up using my frankincense essential oil from Z Oils. I didn't put it in, I just put the bottle in, so that the essence, so that the energy of that plant, of that oil, of that vibration could come into the water. So when I make essences, or potions as everyone's now calling them, I love that. I'm extracting the energy from everything that is there, that goes into it. And I don't plan for these things. They just happen. It's like I get called and I'm like, okay, you need this, 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 that's the recipe, go. And I like run around my house like a maniac. I get everything together, and then I like calm down, and I'm like, all right, the ceremony is here. I'm ready. And then I go into like this whole meditation, and I put my hands over the water, and sometimes I use a wand, which apropos to the potion thing. And for those of you who are thinking Harry Potter right now, wands are actually a very real way of redirecting energy. That's really all they do. That's their purpose, is basically you're directing your human energy, which is a combination of source and earth, through pure earth. So that's what you're doing, is you're just redirecting that. And I also thought it was pretty apropos as well, because my wand is made of yew wood, which is Y-E-W, which is all about death and rebirth and new beginnings and old blood coming to an end, and sacred knowledge and wisdom, and really enlightening situations. And that's pretty much what I injected it with, was just the wisdom to be able to transcend your ego in these situations, the ability to be able to respect your own boundaries when it comes to what you need, and what is acceptable to you, and how other people treat you and approach you, and also in terms of how you respect other people's boundaries. I will confess, I was not a perfect person. I still am not a perfect person. Nobody is. Actually, I take that back. You're perfect if you're your true self. I'm good. Oh my gosh, I'm such a dork. So yeah, you know, I was definitely not by any means a perfect person before. And I completely forgot where I was going with that. Wow, that was blanked out. This is why I love live, you guys, because it's just so raw. Anyways, wow, I have no idea what I was about to say. It was pretty profound too, I feel like. Okay, well, anyways, the point is that I infused this thing with higher wisdom and higher knowledge. And Christine says, I take my abundance serum every day. Oh, it's amazing to hear. Yeah, that was another one that I made. I made that one under the full moon in September, I believe. And I still have some of them. And then she says, only perfect person was Jesus. We are made perfect in Christ Jesus. Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, I try not to necessarily bring religion into what I do, any religion. But I definitely respect your viewpoints and I respect your beliefs. And I think, you know, it's funny, actually, this person I'm about to see in a few weeks said something one time. He was Catholic, and he said something to me one time that has never, ever left me. And I have brought it up so many times to so many different people. And it's the idea that I believe in your belief in your belief. So essentially, you know, to give you the idea, Christine says, Jesus isn't religion. Yeah, I mean, Jesus was a person, he was around. But yeah, it's, you know, as far as perfection goes, I feel like that is definitely a belief thing. Because I believe that we are all perfect people if we choose to be. If you really connect with your higher self, you connect with your highest truth, then you can be as perfect as Jesus if you want to be. Yeah, I am coming to Unstoppable Women this month. Yeah, so Unstoppable Women is an amazing group. It meets the second Tuesday of every month in Grand Rapids at 9 a.m. And it's just this wonderful group of women entrepreneurs. So if you're a woman and you're an entrepreneur and you're in Grand Rapids, you should stop by Schuler's Books, but please RSVP on the meetup page before you come, because there are a ton of people signed up this time. I think they're expecting almost 100 people. Sometimes when that candle's lit, it makes a weird smell, so I decided to blow it out. And Brandy says, it'll come back. Yeah, I don't know, maybe, if it's supposed to. Yeah, it'll come back like 6 days from now, and I'll be like, oh, hey, I'll comment on this video. I'll be like, oh, yeah, this is what I was going to say. So anyways, so back to this idea of I believe in your belief in your belief, right? It's that idea of religion is a manifestation of thought. Religion is thought form at its finest, really. Like, if you believe in God so strongly, God exists, which is why I actually personally believe that everything that's ever been prayed to ever in the history of ever exists. Because it's an energetic thought form, right? We've created it. And even if we haven't created it, we've grown its energy. But anyways, I never tell my beliefs over this stuff. Wow, what happened? No, I'm not sure. So yeah, so I believe in your belief, right? If you believe it that strongly and you are manifesting the energy towards that, if you say, I am strong, I believe you're strong. If you say, I am, the power of Buddha will clear this room, I believe that's going to happen if you really, really believe in it. You know, I don't pray to Buddha, I don't believe in Buddha, but if you believe he has the power to clear the room you're in, then he has the power to clear the room you're in. So that was a cool tangent we just went on. Thanks for leading us on that, Christine. I love when that stuff happens. So yeah. So anyways, essence. So karmic justice is what I called it. And I called it that because really that's just the energy that's been coming through, and it shows up again in this card, right? It's been showing up week after week, and I honestly believe it's going to even show up through the next blue moon cycle as well. Ellie says, "You good, sister, LOL." Thanks, Ellie. And thanks for popping on. I appreciate it. So yeah, I really believe that it's going to continue to follow us. And so I really feel like it's important to approach these karmic situations, these karmic relationships and patterns in a really sophisticated way. And when I say sophisticated, I mean, think about what you want out of the situation. And if what you want out of the situation is some form of control over the other person or their actions or what they're going to do or etc., completely discard it, because it's not going to work. It's going to make the situation worse. It's going to make you feel worse. This essence is all about the ability to be strong in those interactions so that you respect their ability to have autonomy over themselves. You respect your autonomy over yourself. They will respect your autonomy over your own self more because you respect their autonomy and your autonomy. And so it just creates this really nice ability to transition through these karmic relationships in a way that you are completely transcending your ego. You are raising your frequency. Frankincense raises your vibration like crazy, right? That's why they use it in church and in clearings, and in a lot of people will use it in like seances to bring in only good spirits, or in house cleansings and clearings or whatever. So yeah, it's really about raising your vibration to transcend your ego, to bring you closer to ascension, bring you closer to your higher self, so that when you and this other person or people or situation or place or whatever it is that you have that you have these cups filled with, when you come into contact with that, you're coming into contact with it from a place of understanding, of respect, of being in yourself completely, and being in your truth. So yeah, karmic justice. What I did with this one that I've never ever done before, and I'm really excited to post it, is I actually recorded, this is crazy, I actually recorded the entire ceremony that I did over this. So I didn't video record it because there's something about that feels just not sacred to me. And I feel like it would take me out of myself, but I did voice record it. And so I'm planning on putting that voice recording on YouTube. It's about 45 minutes long. And you can listen to it. I chant over it. I do singing over it. I state the intentions over it. And so I'll be posting that to YouTube. And that way, if you decide to purchase one of these, they are listed on the website already. If you go to doorwaytoself.com/shop. And here, I can post that link in here as well. doorwaytoself.com/shop. That was the channeled song for you guys, by the way. I'm totally kidding. Not Delph, self.com/shop. Okay. So yeah, if you head over there, they are $10 each. And which is like crazy nothing, plus shipping if you decide to have it shipped. And for those of you who are attending Unstoppable Women on Tuesday, I will have some with me as well, in addition to the old ones. So if you liked your essences or potions that you bought last time, I will have more on me. Oh, Christine asked that, are you going to bring it to the meeting? Yes, I will. And she says, we do create our own destiny. The word says you will have what you say and be what you meditate on. We have free will till we desire his will. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. We do create our reality. We create our thoughts. We create what we're in. You know, it's easy for people to delve into depression when they're faced with stuff like this. And I'm not going to lie, I started going there a little bit. I was like, shoot, I don't want to deal with this. You know, it triggers those emotions that you may have had in the prior situation. And I was extremely depressed when that ended. I was extremely anxious and paranoid, and I suffered from PTSD from the whole thing, actually, as did the other person. It was really bad on both ends. So, well, I shouldn't say bad. It was really difficult, but it was great because it was exactly what I personally needed to get to this point. And I'm sure whatever situation you've been through, if you don't think you needed it at this point, if you're just angry at it, it will show up later to you, and you'll be able to say, okay, this is why this happened. I understand this now. I needed this in order to get to this point in my life. I needed this in order to learn this lesson and this lesson and this lesson and this lesson, so that when I met this next opportunity to learn those lessons, I had already learned them. I had already overcome them. I had already worked through my shadows surrounding them, and I was able to move through this next situation much more quickly. And the situation after that, even more smoothly. And the situation after that, it didn't even faze me. There's a saying, there's a saying that goes something like, you know, you're walking on your way home and you fall into a hole. The next day, you're walking on your way home and you fall into the same hole. The third day on your way home, you find a board that you can put across the hole, and you walk over it and the board breaks and you fall into the hole. And then the last day, you walk around the hole because you've learned to walk around the hole. So, you know, sometimes you have to fall in a few times. You have to learn those lessons a few times. And then you have to try out different strategies. And eventually, the lesson will bring you to a place of strength where you'll understand how to walk around it, how to avoid having to learn it again. Because if you've learned it, there's not going to be any need to learn it again. So, yeah, so that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. So this $10 website plus shipping, unless you're in Grand Rapids, and then you can come pick something up from me at the Wellness Collective if you message me, or you can get one from me at Unstoppable Women if you're going to be there. I am also, it's not on the store yet, I'll put it up right after this video, or you can just message me about it, but I'm also selling the fluorite that I use to make it, which is also just like super charged at this point with the energies of everything that's in here, plus like direct moonlight. Well, I guess that has this and this has that, and anyways, but yeah, so I'll be selling that fluorite as well for $6. So yeah. And if you're interested, I've been kind of debating, do I keep this frankincense for myself, or is this something that someone else needs? So if you feel that you need it, I'm happy to sell that to you as well, and just shoot me a message. So that's what's up, you guys. That is this card. I'm so happy I was able to hop on live with you guys and talk to you about this, because this was just like, I pulled this up and my whole being was just like, talk now. So I honored that. I hope I honored you guys as well by doing that. I hope this was helpful. So another thing that I wanted to talk about too, if you're looking at the if you're on Facebook and you're looking at the description of this, it says this week's card pull and get jiggy with some channeled song. So oh my gosh, so many hearts across the screen. So I have yeah, I've been having a lot of somatic experiences lately. And so last night I was in the bath and I started feeling some like just things needed to shift. And I had gone to Kundalini Yoga at the Wellness Collective on Thursday morning with Suzanne Werblau, who is absolutely incredible. And if you've not been to her Kundalini Yoga, you must go. Go check it out. So good. So she's doing a chakra series right now, and we were working on the throat the other day. And when I clear my room after sessions, I use sound. Because if you think about it, sound is vibration, right? It's literally vibration of the vocal cords, of the air. If you're trying to clear something, you know, moving it around kind of gets things flowing and moving, and then it's easier to cleanse and clear. So, so I do that when I'm clearing my room, but, you know, I've been kind of thinking about this idea of like, well, what does that do to our body? What does singing do to our body? What does vibrating our vocal cords do to our body? And so there was just this really profound moment. It was first brought up actually in the Feel Tank. I can't remember who the activator was, but she was talking about, I think her name is Shauna, maybe. But she was talking, she's a sound healer, and she was doing an activation on sound healing for the body. And she was talking about sending your voice to certain parts of the body to cleanse them with that vibration, or to raise their vibration through your sound vibration. And I was like, yeah, all right, that makes sense. If you want to check that video out, you can subscribe to the Feel Tank by going to wearthefi.com/feel-tank-app, or you can go to the App Store and you can plug in Feel Tank, and it's right there. So yeah. Anyways, so I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And a lot of the time I take time to kind of feel things out and let them integrate into my brain before I actually try them. So I kind of just like sit with them and see how they feel to me and see if there's something I want to try. And it just so happened that, oh wow, I just realized I missed a bunch of comments. Christine says, great. Alex says, I'm surprised it's not $11. Honestly, you know, I feel like numerology for money is really an interesting thing. I personally don't like using it because I feel like it's just inconvenient. I feel like numerology can be used in a lot of ways, and I feel like, and this is no offense to you if you use numerology this way, but I feel like a lot of spiritual people do the, oh, this is $11 or $22 or $33 or whatever, because it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's gimmicky a little bit. And honestly, personally too, like 10 reduces to 1, and 1 is the number of the magician. And if this is some magic, you want to have the magician up in you. Let's see. Thanks for the live chat. It was so cool to finally catch it live. I know. Blessings. Thank you. Blessings to you too. I love you, Alex. I was so happy to see you on here. Thank you so much for joining. Christine says, we grow in the wilderness. Yes, we learn to love the process, so bring cash. Yeah, bring cash. You can also PayPal me as well if that's easier. Thanks for asking that. So where was I? Yeah, so voice. So anyway, so Suzanne's class, so I had this integration with that activation about the voice, and you can send vibration to certain parts of your body. And then I went to Suzanne's class, and that's literally what we did in the class. And it was perfect because I had like a week to think about it and be like, this is something I want to try. And that really, like, you know, threw me into the moment where I could be like, yes, this is an excuse to try this, right? So then last night I was home, and, you know, big day of work and school and all this other grand stuff. And I was like, bath, please. So I drew myself a bath, and baths for me are always like a very sacred meditative process. And so I bathe in the dark with a candle, and I just like look at the flicker of the candle in the water and see the reflection of all of my light and all of my shadows, and it's just like a thing. So I was in there and I was feeling all of these somatic things, and I'm like, okay, there is energy that really needs to move in my body. And so I started doing some, you know, myofascial unwinding in the bathtub, and I'm like kind of scooching around, but I kept hitting the walls, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? This is ridiculous. And then I started thinking about Suzanne's Kundalini class that morning, and I was like, huh, maybe I should try some sound vibration. So that's exactly what I did, and it was absolutely incredible. So what you can do, I don't know if you're in a place to try this. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, I promise you. But just try like making your cheeks a little big. Feel the room. Like if you were to pull your cheeks like this, feel the room. Like you can even hear my voice change right now. Like feel the room that's back here. I look like a fish. This is kind of crazy. So if you feel the room that's back here, that's what you want to feel. And you want to send all of the energy to wherever you need it. So let's say you need it in your heart, or let's say your left hip is killing you, or whatever. Send it to those places. Send it to whatever's ailing you. If someone said they were getting sick, right? I think it was Alex. Alex left though. So if you're getting sick, you can just keep it in the throat area and have it heal there. So you're just going to make that space, and you're just going to go, and you send that to wherever it needs it. So that vibration is already changing the frequency of whatever energy is in that place that you're sending it to. And you can change pitch too, and that's what I do when I'm clearing a room, right? If you get really in tune with, like, and your body knows, your voice knows, just like trust it. And it might sound super weird. Like sometimes I think I freak the people in the lobby out because they're like, what are these like weird demon sounds coming from? Anyways, so you just match pitch to whatever you feel needs to be matched. You don't have to be a singer. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to, you know, nothing. It's just about matching whatever your intuition tells you is the vibration that needs to be matched. And what you're doing by doing that is a lot of the time, as I've experienced through room clearing, is you are doing whatever vibration helps to raise whatever frequency the place is at. So like, for instance, let's say I had a client who was going through a lot of trauma. They're sitting in the chair, and they leave. And so firstly, of course, I have my candle in one hand and my sage in the other, and I'm continually lighting. And I always like go like this just to get that breakup of movement, right? The air and the smoke and all of that is just moving. Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining. So all of that's happening, right? So that's first. Second is that I will feel into the energy that's there, and the pitch will come. Okay, it will happen for you too. You just need to do it. That's all it's about. You just need to do it. Don't think about it. Don't guess at it. Just go, right? So let's say trauma, and it's like, so let's say that pitch is matched then. Well, then I have to raise it even higher. So it might go, and then sometimes you have to go back down and match it again. So here's what came up for me in the tub is we can do that with our bodies. Whoa. We can do that with our bodies. So I need some raised vibration in my chest right now. So sending it to my chest, and I'm going to go. So I don't know if you guys could feel that from where you're at, or if you're trying it, that's even better. Oh, Instagram's saying I only have 2 minutes remaining on my live. So if you're on Instagram and you're watching and you want to continue watching, you can hop on Facebook Live and find the rest of the video there. Thank you for hopping on Instagram if you're there. Hi, Amber. Thanks for joining. So that's what I wanted to share about that. The other thing, so when I said Jiggy with some channeled song, right? Which I'm assuming that's why Amber popped on, because she knows she knows I do this. Amber's a dear sister of mine. I love you. I'm happy to see you here. So something that I love to do, and I would really kind of hope to entice some of you to do as well, is to just channel lyrics. Oh yeah. Oh, isn't that scary? Isn't that scary? Amber says intuitively showed up like you do. So basically, what does that look like? And I'll do just a little something for you guys, just kind of based on what I'm feeling from the collective group that's on here right now. Water. When I melt into my body, when I melt into my mind, the essence of divine will find me, and I will feel the call to be my truth. When the light of my mind is beside me, I know that I know. When the dark of past hearts will guide me, I know where to go, and I find my light shines extra bright when I see all that I've gone through, and I find that my light will shine extra bright when I know all that I have gone through. When I know all that I have gone through. So be in your power and shine extra bright. I see all your shadows, I see all your light. So dance, little darlings, and come out to see the true gold that you can be. So that's what I have for you guys this evening. I really thank you so much for coming out. I hope that you will try doing something like that on your own. Do not do not feel discouraged because you're like, wow, that was good. I studied opera for like 4 years and voice lessons for years and years before that. So don't even like try to underestimate yourself. Your voice is perfect no matter what training you've had, what training you don't have, if you hit pitches or not. You know, it's really more about you being able to hear the message you're giving yourself and you being able to hear the message you're giving other people. That's what this exercise is about. Okay, you're not trying to make a song, you're not trying to sound perfect, you're not trying to like do cool things. I also would recommend that you record yourself, even though that sounds really scary, but then you don't have to pay attention to what it is that you're saying, and you can listen to it back later, and you can be like, oh wow, I definitely told myself to go exercise and I should do that, even though I've been telling myself I shouldn't. Or I definitely sang a lot about chocolate. Maybe it's time for me to treat myself. Or I sang a lot about my own empowerment and I haven't been feeling empowered lately. Maybe secretly I have been subconsciously feeling my own empowerment. So it can be extremely healing medicine. It's basically all I did as a teenager, you guys. So crazy. So yeah, I would really encourage you to do that. And if you are brave and or super enthusiastic about this and you want to share your recordings with me, I want to hear them. So you can email them to me, doorwaytoself@gmail.com, or you can message them to me on Facebook, or if you're really brave, you can drop them in the comments on this video after I post the recording. So yeah, I have a lot of love for every single one of you. Thank you so much for hopping on here and spending Friday night with me in this fun way. And thank you for all of your support and your encouragement. It always just blows me away to see people actually show up on these things. And it continues to propel me forward in a way of psychic ed is necessary in this world. If you really loved this video and you want to see more of this stuff, I mean, obviously this is, you know, from my free time and whatnot. So if you want to see more of this, I could really use your support through funding as well. So if you want to support me in that way, I am on PayPal, and you can PayPal any amount to doorwaytoself@gmail.com. Or you can also find me on Patreon, patreon.com/doorwaytoself, and you get a cool little fun goodie out of it too. I'm doing like card readings and stuff if you donate. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much. I hope to see everyone again. Have a wonderful Friday night. Go take care of yourselves. Go sing. Okay, love you.